friends, Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library, and Callie and I are here today to talk to you about a book that we think is just absolutely amazing. And one of the things about it that is really cool is that even though we read it a couple weeks ago, it's still percolating in our brains, right? You're still thinking about it too. I have not been able to stop thinking about a lot of the aspects of this book since I finished it. And for me, that is one of the best indications that it is a good book. So even if I am enjoying it at the time and I really like it at the time, that's wonderful and it should be that way, right? When you're reading. But if I'm still thinking about this book weeks later, that's really cool too. So what book am I talking about? This book is called New from Here by Kelly Yang. New from Here. So if you are familiar with this author, you'll know that she has written a few other books that I actually might talk about soon as well, because they're really, really good. And you should check her out. If this is the first time you're experiencing her, wow, what a story to start with. So this is not part of a series or anything. This is a standalone book. So you don't have to be familiar with any of her other books. And this tells the story of 10-year-old Knox, who lives with his family in Hong Kong right at the beginning of when COVID is starting to hit hard over there. You can see where this story is going, right? So Knox lives with his parents, his older brother Bowen, and his younger sister Leah. And his mom decides, well, both of his parents really decide that the best thing that they can do right now is for her to take the three kids and go back to California, because they do live in both places. And the dad is going to stay and keep working. And Knox is really upset about this because his dad is his best friend. He doesn't want to have to leave him a whole country away, and while the country's in the middle of this terrible pandemic. And this is right before it starts hitting in the United States. So we know what's coming, right, as the readers, but Knox and his family do not. So they go to California, they start living there for a little bit, and then, as you can probably imagine, COVID hits the U.S. really hard. Really, really hard. So this obviously takes place in the beginning of months of 2020. So now they're in this new school. Knox is in this new school, and he's dealing with all this racism that is being hurled his way because of him being Asian American. So he has to not only deal with feelings of missing his father, being scared for his father, and now he's dealing with this on top of it. He's not getting along with his older brother Bowen very well. Knox also has this, he kind of reminds me a lot of Ramona Quimby. If you've read Beverly Cleary and you are familiar with Ramona, Knox reminded me so much of Ramona in that he can't sit still. He always has to be involved in things. He's always getting in people's way. Obviously, for him, it doesn't feel like that, but he always has to be into things, right? He has a hard time staying still. He fidgets a lot. He has a hard time keeping his thoughts to himself. So there are lots of funny incidences in this book where he gets himself into trouble trying to help out, and he's just so lovable. Like, you just cannot help but love this kid so much. I know I did. And there's a lot of things going on in this book, right? So there's the COVID, right? So I know I'm in a place right now where I am feeling comfortable enough to read books that have to deal with COVID, and they're a really good way, I think, to help process those emotions, right? So there's dealing with COVID, family, the family issue, not only missing his dad and, feeling really sad because he's separated from him, but also the brother relationship here. So him and his older brother Bowen not getting along and trying to cross that, to cross that divide that has grown between the two of them. And then there's also the racism factor, having to deal with all these kids at school that are now, blaming Knox for the disease. And if you remember when, COVID started first coming over here, there was a lot of really horrible discriminatory attacks and things against Asian Americans. And some of that stuff is still going on, and it's all really horrible. So one of the best things about books that we know is it builds empathy, right? So reading about people that are different from us, that are living different experiences than us, can really help build empathy and help put you in someone else's shoes. And this book is amazing for that reason. Because I know my experiences living through the COVID pandemic are very different than yours. And they're very different from from this families as well. Very different from Knox. So reading about all these different people and how they had to go through things and how some struggles were different than others was really enlightening, and it made my heart feel really big and full, which was a good thing. And this book is awesome. Highly, highly recommend it. Like I said, there's a lot of things going on in it. The writing is really, really good. So like I said, if you're not familiar with Kelly Yang, check out some of her other books as well, because they're fantastic. But this is a great one to start with if you are not familiar with her. New from here. So that's what I had to talk to you guys about today. I hope that this book sounds really interesting and fun. And if so, please feel free to come and get it from Farmington Community Library. And also, please give this video a like. I really appreciate you guys watching. Thanks so much and have a wonderful rest of your day.